Delirium by Lauren Oliver is about a teenage girl who falls in love in a society where love is known as a disease. In this society, civilization is concentrated in areas surrounded by electric fences and security guards called regulators. The government teaches that love, which is known as the deliria, is the most deadly disease of all. All citizens must have the procedure when they turn 18, in which the portion of their brain is removed that makes them able to feel love. If you resist, you are thrown in prison for life or killed on the spot. Lena has been looking forward to her procedure all of her life until the most unexpected thing happens. She falls in love with a boy named Alex. They decide they can't live without each other and plan to escape to the wilds, the world beyond the borders. Just days before they had planned on escaping, they're caught and their plan is ruined. Lena is taken home and held hostage by her family and regulators until she can have the procedure, and Alex manages to escape. The morning before her procedure, Alex manages to free her and they try to escape to the border together. In a dramatic action scene, Alex sacrifices himself and gets shot in order to allow Lena the chance to make it over the fence to safety.
Hello, I'm the critic of this book. I want to start by saying Lauren Oliver does a magnificent job of bringing a seemingly post-apocalyptic world where love isn't considered an emotion into existence. It's actually a disease. And luckily, the scientists who made this discovery found a cure to amor deliria nervosa, the medical term for love. Lena is an exceptional main character. Her transformation throughout this book is executed brilliantly. Lena's change throughout the story ended with her being an entirely different character and twisted plot. In less adept hands, many of Lena's decisions would seem unrealistic, especially given her rule-follower personality, but Oliver provides rationalizations that make Lena's choices undeniably believable. The main male character, Alex, would melt any girl's heart. Poor Lena did not stand a chance. He may be slightly too perfect to be realistic, but I can't say that it bothered me while reading. The world building of this dystopian society is also enthralling. We learn about the world through Lena's eyes, who completely believes that love is a disease and can't wait to be cured, at least in the beginning. As the story unfolds and her entire belief system is challenged, some thought-provoking concepts are raised, such as what is more dangerous, anger or apathy? What is more important, love or duty?
As a teacher, there are a lot of interdisciplinary connections you can make with this book, Delirium. In science, and particularly in psychology, you can talk about the idea of neuroplasticity, which is essentially the plasticity of the brain. And this comes up in the book when they're discussing at what age it is safe to receive the cure. Another thing that you can bring up, or a question that you can ask, is where do emotions come from? And this may lead into a very good discussion about neurochemicals, which are very important in the regulation of our behavior there in the brain. And this would be a very good discussion to have in a science classroom.
This book has some interesting connections to the subject I teach, which is history. Because in the book, propaganda is one of the main themes, and the government teaches its citizens that love is a disease. And that reminded me of the Nazi regime in the 1940s, 30s in Germany. Because although they didn't teach that love was a disease, they had, a lot of propaganda against, various groups, especially Jews.
Hi, my name is Ms. Martinez and I'm a high school geography teacher. My class has just finished reading this great book called Delirium by Lauren Oliver. In order to make a geographic connection with this book, I had my students compare and contrast the geographical aspects of the two parts that make up the U.S. in this book, the dominant versus the wilds. I had them compare and contrast things like the vegetation, the landscape, and ease of access to food and water. They also made a connection with the geographical aspects of the current U.S. This is a great book to read with many great interdisciplinary connections, and I highly recommend this book for your classroom.
The English interdisciplinary connections in Lauren Oliver's Delirium are abundant. When assigning this book to secondary readers, their vocabulary and comprehension will most likely be improved. This novel also may spark creativity and allow the students to envision a future that is more scientific. When writing, a prompt that can be offered to the students could be based around a single quote that encompasses the book. The quote is, "Love, the deadliest thing. It kills you when you have it and when you don't." This could be followed by the question, would you accept the cure? They could answer this question and describe why or why not. Another activity would involve critical thinking. The students could break into small groups and perform a scene that they think is critical to the novel. After performing for the class, they could join their groups again and describe how this scene is significant to the book. They could include tone, character, language, figures of speech, and more.